Hi guys, Richard here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I have the 85mm, if you can see that, f1.2, and we're going to take a look at the lens and some photos I've taken it recently over the last couple of weeks, so welcome back. Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel. Richard here, thanks for joining me in another video. This video is going to be a bit fragmented. I'm filming this at 4:30 on the 1st of January, and it is the day before I have to return this lens back to the hire company because this is hired. I haven't had time really to use it over the last couple of weeks as much as I'd like for one reason or another, but I'm going to do a quick chat now about the actual lens itself, and then in a separate, same video but in a minute, but it'd be like film it tomorrow or something, but it'll be in this video in a second, if that will make sense. Show you some photos and stuff like that. So if I'm wearing something different or the lighting's different, then it's because I'm recording it on a different day, but it will be coming up all in this video, so stay tuned for that, and let us have a look at the 85 1.2. This, however, before we do that, is the 24-105 f4 to 7.1 sort of standard kit lens that I got with the R6 when I bought it a couple of years ago. The size of it is only, I don't know, a couple of millimeters smaller than the 85mm f2 version. Okay, so we're going to pretend that this, for the purpose of this video, is the 85mm f2. Like I said, very similar in size, very similar in weight. Put that next to the f1.2. And you can see the difference that 0.8 of an f-stop gets you, f2 to f1.2. This is considerably bigger, it's considerably heavier, and as you'd expect, it is considerably more expensive. I've got some stats here. So the f2 version, again pretending this is the f2 version, the f2 version, 225 grams, 950 grams, so it's over 4 times as heavy. And you can feel it's over 4 times as heavy. It is a monster of a lens compared to the f2. This new, again, pretending this is the f2 version, the f2 85mm is around £550–600 to buy new, depending where you get it from. This one, new, is nearly £3,000, £3,500 if you want the defocus smoothing coating on all the elements and stuff. So it's like five times, over 5 times, 6, 7 times nearly if you go for the better version of this. So it is for pros, obviously. The f2 is an option if you want some of the quality lens, but not this extreme. But you know, you do get a lot more depth of field with this. You get better in low light, portraits for picking up that eye and for sort of accentuating the subject from the background. This is going to do wonders. I've got some pictures to show you that I've managed to get done over the last couple of weeks. So let's have a quick look around the lens. There's nothing that you'd expect on here that you don't see on all the other lenses. 82mm filter, so it's quite a big, as you'd expect. Just have a look at that. Don't know if you can, the light's picking up inside the lens there, but you know, it's like a mug. Control ring on the outside, which I don't really use. Maybe I should start trying to use that because they're obviously quite useful. They put on all their lenses now, on these RF lenses. And we have 2 buttons on the side that you can see here, hopefully. One of them is the autofocus, manual focus switch, and the other one is the what do you call it, the focal range switch, so you can tell it if you want it to shoot from, or to only look for focusing between 1.5 meters to the lens and infinity, or if you want it to look as close as it can, which I think I read somewhere that it said like 0.4 of a meter, so that's, what's that, 40 centimeters, 1.5 feet, about that much. I've struggled to get it focusing that close, I must admit, and I'm pretty certain I had it on the full focal thingy here, and I didn't have it on the the 1.5 range, but don't know why that didn't work. But it's not really something you're going to use for macros and things like that anyway. You are going to use it for subjects and you know, portraits and stuff like this. I have got a few sort of landscapey type detail photos that I took when I was in and out around the forest. It is a good lens. It's, you know, it's solid. It's made well, as you'd expect from a Canon L lens. We are going to have a quick look now at some photographs, and you can tell me, or I can tell you what I think. I'll show you what I think, and I'll do a before and after shot, you know, once straight out of camera, raw out of camera, plus an edit version so you can see the before and after. So that's it. That's a quick look around the lens. We are now going to have a look at some photographs taken over the last week or two. Right, so here we are. We're about to jump into the computer. This is actually 3 days later, 3 days after, 2 days after, 3rd of Jan now, that I recorded that bit you've just seen. Got some photos. I've got befores and afters, so I've got the original raw files to look at so you can see what they were like straight out of camera, and I've also got the edited versions that I've done to my liking, depending on what the photo is, and I'll go through and explain a little bit of detail why I've edited, why I have. And you can judge for yourself if you like the look of them. So we are going to jump straight into the computer now, and let's have a look at the first photo. Right, so this first photo is taken by me, of me, when I was on my own. So I had the camera on a tripod, and I just wanted to get an idea of the background and how it looks and things like that. So I had no idea of what the lighting was like on me without taking a photo and then going to look at it. I did that a few times. I've settled on this one, and the reason I liked it was just because of the way the highlights, all this, the sunlight hit my face really. If we do a quick zoom in here, let me go into, let's just get this onto 100%, shall we? There we go. So you can see here I'm holding the remote shutter. And the IAF has done a pretty good job of picking up my face and my eye, and I thought the way that edited, or the way the sun hit my face here inside the hood, looked quite good, so I've converted it to black and white, before on the left, after on the right, and I really like it. I mean, straight out of camera it's pretty good. Hard to deal with both the sort of sunlight and the shadows, but the camera and the lens has done a pretty good job, and we've been able to get this image on the right. It's not my favourite of the bunch, but I wanted to show you one of me taken remotely, just to show that you can sort of do something with a tripod and a remote release with today's autofocus and IAF and things like that. So that is the first image. The next one is a photo of Max in the kitchen. He has had chicken pox. You can see I have cleaned up his face a bit, but again, if we go to the eye, you can see it's done a great job picking up the eye. The one thing I love about this camera is the detail on that plane, so you can see how nice the hair is, particularly after it's been run through one of my presets. We've got some really nice sharp detail in the hair, in the eye. Excuse me. And yeah, the contrast really nice, the colours are really nice, even just the basic colours, although it looks a little bit flat as you'd expect with a raw file, you can still see the potential and what we've got in the image, and it's caught, you know, the highlights in the background, it's got some detail in the shadows down here as well. So this is quite nice when it's a candidate. It wasn't posed at all, he's just standing there or sitting there next to his mum watching something on the screen, and I just took a quick shot. He was feeling a bit better on New Year's Day, so we headed out to the forest and went for a walk around, although the weather did beat us in the end. But we've got this one on the left here, probably maybe a tiny bit underexposed, but I just wanted to make sure I kept what I could in the background here, because it's kind of shooting into the white sky because he was quite high up. If we zoom in, particularly on the image on the right, we can see that again it's done a real good job on the face. This is at 100%. I love the way it's picked up the raindrops here, and the nice smooth background as you'd expect at 1.2. Just really quickly, all of the photos I'm showing you, in case I hadn't explained it, are 1.2, and you would have seen all the settings come up at the bottom or somewhere on the screen. I'll put the settings, not quite sure where yet because I've not edited it, but the settings are here on the screen, and you can see the settings that that I've taken for each photo. So yeah, he climbed up on some logs, and we've got some nice detail in the logs, but we also got some nice soft focus at the front and nice blurred out background, so really happy with that one. The next one was a different style of editing with one of my presets. He jumped down to a there's a sort of a little stream running along where he is now, so here's the path that you can see in the background here. We were walking along there, he jumped down to have a look at the stream, I just jumped over the stream and took a shot of him back through the bushes, just so we get a nice sort of foreground object here, some sort of foreground interests, and then he's in the middle of the trees and the bushes. Again, colours are, they're pretty flat, but you can see you've got a nice range of colours in the greens and the yellows and the oranges in his jumper. Once that's run through a preset, it's come up really well, ruined by the rain, but it adds to the atmosphere. So, and again, as you'd expect, really nice soft background. So happy with all of these so far. This one here, I love taking photos like this as it's sort of natural, people just walking away, they don't know it's happening. Especially when the path goes off into the distance like this and it goes to real soft, a real blur. It's a nice smooth blur as well. And Max, as you would expect, ping sharp, the bright orange coat jumping out and popping out of the forest, sort of browns and greens really well. So this is probably one of my favourites, even though it's at the back of him walking away. I really like the way this sort of stands out. I did think about bringing the greens down a little bit, but I do like the way the green lines here, almost like tram lines running off into the distance, and it just gives a nice frame and a nice leading line to the subject as he's walking away. So yeah, one of my favourites, I think. So there are five photos of people. I did take 2 or 3 of also, I don't want to say landscapes because they're not really landscapes. It's detail on a tree trunk. It's a little sort of object in the distance and a sort of path through the trees, which I'm going to show you now. But again, you're going to see how sharp it is when it's on focus and how it makes what you're aiming at jump out. And even for the landscape one, when there isn't really much of a subject, someone's ringing me, leave a message. Even when there isn't much of a subject, like a sort of landscape type, no real prominent subject like a person, it looks really good. So let's have a look at those ones now. So the first one was when I was out on my own. It's just I saw the detail of this sort of smooth moss and this spiky leaves here, and you can see that it's, even in the raw file, it's got a pretty 100% pretty sharp, nice detail in the leaves and the moss, and when it's been run through a preset or an editor, you can see how it really pops. And the nice greens, I've pulled up the oranges in the leaves a bit just to give it a bit of a frame around the green. You can see how as it sort of tracks off into the distance, how smooth this root is. So not really a macro lens, obviously, and this isn't a macro shot, but you can see the detail that you can get and what it looks like. So it can be used not just for portraits, although portraits are obviously predominantly what it will be used for, I would imagine. Next one is one in the forest. Again, this is underexposed for a reason, because I wanted to try and make the background here in the woods as dark as possible to give me the option to sort of pull out the colours on this bush here. It's just a lone bush. I could have done more with this. I probably could have taken out this green here, and I think there's some other greens around here that maybe would have sort of made the foreground a little bit more of the same colour. But my main focus is this bush here and pulling out the yellows and the greens in that against this black background. And the thing we've got to remember in a lot of these photos, well, all of these photos actually, apart from the couple of me, or the one of me, is that I'm just walking around with the family. So it's not a portrait shoot, it's really just a strolling around, stand there, do this, that kind of thing, relaxed, while Max is burning off some energy and we're trying to dodge the rain. So none of this is really set up. We're not sort of looking for light, we're not looking for areas of where we can get a subject, as you would if he was on a professional portrait shoot. It's really just me snapping as I'm walking along, just testing the camera. So But yeah, I like this one. I think I'll probably spend a little bit more time editing this and just tidy up some of these greens in the brown here so it isolates that bush and those colours even more. And the last image that I have here is I just saw sort of a little track through these trees, or an alleyway through these trees, and I just like the way that the brighter bracken sort of twisted in between the golden bracken here. So again, I've pulled out the colours in the edit. It was a preset that I started with and then lifted some of the oranges here. And I just like the way that wanders through. We can see we've got a nice sharp area in the middle, and we've got some blur off in the background here and some blur off in the front here. So yeah, really happy with these photos. There are a lot more that I've taken, and I'll put a link where you might be able to view the rest that I've taken with this lens. So have a look for that down below. It'll either be on the screen here or in the description down below. So that's it. I haven't got the lens anymore because I've had to give it back. It got picked up yesterday. I had a test drive sort of try the kit thing. I don't know if you've heard of it. I've done it before, where you can borrow a lens for 2 days for nothing from Canon, see if you like it before you buy, try before you buy basically. And if you look at the 85mm f2 video that I did, I'll talk about it in there in a bit more detail. But they give it to you for 2 days, but at Christmas, because they shut down, you get it for 2 weeks. Didn't use it as much as I wanted to because I was ill, Max was ill, and we had that all over the Christmas break. It wasn't me, it was him, so we didn't really get out as much as we wanted to. So I do want to try the 135 f1.8 as a comparison. I'm not sure if I do enough of this type of work for me to warrant spending £3,000 on one. I'd like to try the 135mm f1.8 just to see how that works, but I would also be really happy with the f2 version that I tried last year, and they're only £500–600. So there are plenty of options out there for a nice portrait lenses if you want one. This one is brilliant. You would expect it to be brilliant at £3,000 or £3,500 if you go for the DS version. But yeah, I don't get to test much gear because I have to sort of fund it myself or sort of hire it, or you know, do a test drive thing as if I'm into, or if I want to buy a lens, then I'll get it for 2 days from them. So I don't get to test as much of this as I would like. So, you know, my experience in doing it is very limited, but that's what I've done for this one. The 85mm f1.2 L lens from Canon. I hope you enjoyed that, gave you a bit of insight into the lens, saw what you could do with the lens both before and after. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Leave me a question down below if you've got any of these lenses and why you like it, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. And subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.